Hey, movie fans, and welcome back to another episode of the Uncharted Media Podcast. This is episode 90. Josh, I can't even believe we're at 90 already. Can you?
No, not at all, dude. This is kind of exciting. I mean, when you and I first started this was very much of we missed talking about movies, so let's just call each other once a week, and it's just kind of evolved from here. And here we are, 90 episodes in, and dude, sky's the limit.
And I don't know about you. We're not going to say too much yet, but let's just say I think we're only just now getting our groove, and we've got some things planned in the not too distant future.
Yeah, no, I would agree. I think we're starting to figure out where we want the podcast to go, how big we want to make it, and all that. And we've got lots of really, really cool stuff planned. So,
but we can only make this podcast as big as you guys let us to make it. So, yeah, if you haven't shared us with your friends and family yet, and you think they would like to listen to some two idiots talk about movies, tell them about us. We'd like to have more listeners and just have more engagement because we like talking to you guys. We like giving you guys the news. We like talking about what we've been watching. So, Josh, you been watching anything good lately?
I finally, I know I sing the show's praise quite a bit, but I finally finished season 2 of Altered Carbon.
And?
With Anthony Mackie, and it's actually better than season 1. So yeah, wow. And it ends in a way that either they could make a third season if they wanted to, or we can just leave it at this.
All right. So I have not seen any. I'm assuming it's something I would like?
I think you would. They do. I mean, it wasn't a negative for me, but I can see this being a negative for somebody else. They are very heavy-handed with like philosophical themes and like what it means to be human and what it means to be mortal and all this other stuff. So it's very, very interesting, but it can be a little heavy-handed at times.
I don't mind like stuff like that so long as it's done well. And so often movies think they're doing it well and they really aren't. They're just making noise.
Yeah.
Or worse yet, there'll be political movies that think they're being groundbreaking, but just beating you over the head with overtness.
Yeah. And I think the big thing here is with the show that it doesn't try to, I mean, it knows that it's a sci-fi movie about people that can basically live forever because of the consciousness is downloaded into stacks, right? And clones are always a thing now. So it knows what it is. It doesn't like attempt to be something different. So I mean, I'm gonna count that as positive. What about you, bud? You've been watching anything this week?
Yes and no. So Heather and I more or less like, I won't say rage quit, but kind of rage quit on Last of Us Part 2.
Okay.
Like, I am not like everybody else saying, oh, this is the worst game ever. I know what the second half of the game is, and I was like, oh, that's disappointing. It's hard to not talk about without going into spoilers, but let's just say it's like the last season of Game of Thrones. On paper, what happens, I think, is a good idea, actually. I don't think what they do is necessarily bad. I think how they go about it is bad. Like, I think it's ordered incorrectly. And also it feels like there's a completely missing game. Like we jump from 1 to 3 all of a sudden without a second game. So despite that and make me go, I kind of need a game with good storytelling. And Heather had not seen them yet. So we've been going through all the Uncharted games, actually.
Yeah, I'm not surprised by that.
Hey, it's been at least a year since I played them last.
I mean, yeah, but it's not like there's other games waiting for you to play, like Horizon Zero Dawn or anything.
True. I'm waiting for that one to go on sale. Also, that one's not next to my to-buy list. It's probably Gang Beasts of all things.
Really?
I kind of really want to play Gang Beasts. That looks a lot of stupid fun.
Okay.
Have you seen what that is, basically?
I have not.
So look it up after this. It looks incredibly stupid, which makes me want to play it immediately. It basically looks like crash test dummies that don't have any bone structure trying to throw each other off a roof.
Okay.
Like, okay, did you ever see that Markiplier video where he like kicks soccer balls at dummies and they just go limp?
No.
Wow, you got a rabbit hole to go down after this.
Yes, especially with Markiplier. I love me some Markiplier. So,
but yeah, he had one where like you kick soccer balls at people and they just go limp. Basically, imagine playing as the limp people and you fight people.
Okay.
Like Super Smash Brothers, except without the strategy or refined combat. So yeah, we've been going through the Uncharted ones, and we've been going through them wicked fast. So we're on the fourth one.
Oh, nice.
But also the first one you can do in like 7 hours, so it's not wicked long. But also, in terms of things I actually have been watching, besides our god awful movie that we're talking about today, thanks for that, by the way, Josh.
You're welcome.
I've been sporadically, not like full on binging, but sporadically watching episodes of Psych for the movie next week, because about time.
Yeah. And you're excited about this one because it kind of seems like this could be a good one.
Well, we thought the last one could be good too, and Zachary Levi notwithstanding, it was kind of disappointing. But it's nice to have Lassie back for this one, so I'll let you know. I'm still curious because Peacock, as bad of a name as that is for a streaming service, is not on Roku yet. But then again, I trust them to get a deal before next week, unlike HBO Max, who is still trying to get their crap together, but whatever. So yeah, we said it a little bit before, but it is 5 Good Things week. And Josh, curse your wickedly good segue last week for suggesting that we watch Catwoman. So I'm like, sure, why not? I expected it to be bad. I did not expect it to be as bad as it was. Like Spider-Man 3, Batman and Robin, I found myself defending, okay, maybe they're not that bad. They're not the worst superhero movies of all time. Oh no. This is in discussion for top 5, maybe top 3 worst superhero movies of all time.
Yeah. And we'll talk about it a little later. I mean, I know it was hard for me. I don't know how hard it was for you to find 5 good things, but
yeah, this is the most I've ever had to reach. This is the most I've ever had to reach for something.
Yeah, I mean, there's one I think on my list that I'm pretty confident about that I didn't feel like I needed to reach for, but
I swear to God, if you put the music on here,
no, Lord no.
Because guys, if you haven't seen Catwoman, it's basically like Destiny's Child puked up a soundtrack of their ones that didn't make their albums.
I will say though, the music going on at the party that she interrupts, I was digging that.
Well, yeah. We'll get into all the issues that we have with that, but we have some news and also a lot of odd speculation because it seems like nowadays everybody that's got some form of a Twitter or Instagram can claim a new rumor suggests. Oh, I'm getting real sick of that, but we'll burn that bridge when we get there. But first of all, let's start looking at some light at the end of the tunnel here because Lord knows I live in Florida right now.
Yeah.
We're like in the darkest part of the tunnel because no one knows what a mask is. Speaking of which, I now have a Baby Yoda mask and I'm quite proud.
Oh, yay.
It looks kind of weird that it looks like I have a small child on my face.
I switched between 2 masks. One's a Day of the Dead mask and like the Mexican holiday.
As opposed to the band?
Or isn't there a movie?
I mean, probably.
Yeah, probably. But anyway, and like this really pale blue one. And I didn't realize it until I wore it today. And somebody was like, "Oh, well, you going for surgery?" And I was like, "Oh no!"
See,
it's a surgery blue face mask.
My first mask looked a lot like a Bane shape, so I was fine with it.
Yeah.
But the light at the end of the tunnel is it seems like things are going to go into production soon because we know it seems like it's safer everywhere but America. So UK filming is set to resume incredibly soon for stuff like The Batman, Mission Impossible 7, Jurassic World Dominion, which actually had already started filming, but then had to stop because of, the world being on fire.
Yeah.
But Josh, of all the things that are scheduled to go back into production, what are you excited for? Just what are your general thoughts about stuff theoretically being allowed to film again?
I mean, if we can film some Batman stuff, that'd be fun. I mainly because I'm itching for a teaser. I'm itching to find out more, as I'm sure you are. I could care less about Mission Impossible 7.
But you liked Fallout.
I did. I really did, and I liked Protocol. Like, I liked them a lot more than I thought I would. But at the end of the day, I'm not like, man, they need to make another Mission Impossible. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like on my top tier list of things I really want to see this year.
Are you basically, if Tom doesn't go to space, I'm not in?
I mean, basically. If Tom doesn't train himself how to halo dive from 50,000 feet, then I'm not in.
Again?
Yeah.
Obviously, like you said, I'm really looking forward to Batman. Like Jurassic World, that had already started filming, but it got scrapped. I think that was further along than Jurassic World, though. Like, obviously, we had the Batman suit. It's annoying because I feel like we were on the cusp of getting a lot of reveals. Like, I think we were just about to get the Catwoman suit reveal. I feel like we were just about to get a lot of stuff from the Matt Reeves Batman movie before everything got shut down. So I was like, dang it. I'm the exact opposite of you. The more Mission Impossible movies come out, the more I'm excited for the franchise, just because I've liked them more and more with each passing one. Protocol is still my favorite, but
isn't the same director from Fallout coming back?
Yeah, from Fallout and Rogue Nation. So this will be the first time that Tom Cruise has let a director do 4 of the Mission Impossible movies: 5, 6, 7, and 8.
Oh wow!
So 7 and 8 are more than likely tied together somehow.
Okay, that'd be kind of cool. I mean, I don't know how you would pull that off, but yeah, that'd be kind of cool.
I swear, if you kill one of the team members though as a cliffhanger for 7.
No.
Like Benji.
Leave Benji alone.
He's finally earned his place on the team.
He's like, especially in Fallout, he's finally starting to feel like an actual member of the team.
Yeah. I think it's funny that like everyone's allowed to film overseas because, let's be honest, it's probably safer over there now because every other country's been like, oh, we have a virus? Let's just shut everything down until this passes. Whereas America's going, we're fine. We're fine with limited capacity. And now we have this whole second wave going on because no one knows how to take care of themselves or wear masks.
Yeah. But I mean, I think though, I'm with you though. I think we were just about to get a ton of stuff revealed for Batman. And I need more. I need more. I need to shut people up about it not looking good.
Yeah. Again, my only complaint is the wrist gauntlet thingies. I think those look weird. But again, that's his first suit in the movie. I'm sure we'll get a new one. Jurassic World, I think this will be better than Fallen Kingdom just because there's nowhere to go but up because Fallen Kingdom was just such trash. It was so bad.
Yeah.
It does make me wonder because, again, I have to come back to where was Uncharted supposed to film, and are they allowed to film anytime soon?
You're asking the wrong guy on that one, buddy, because I know you're the one that really keeps up with that kind of stuff.
Yeah, it wasn't England, but I guarantee it wasn't in America either, and that's another. They had already started filming. Like Tom Holland showed up for his day of filming, and that's when everything got shut down. So I don't know. I know not. But that's still to me probably going into production before Spider-Man 3 because Sony can make it themselves and not have to rely on Marvel for their timing of like when does this fit into Kevin Feige's master plan.
True. So we'll see. It's kind of whatever. It's still whatever at this point. I mean, things are starting to start to move on the outside world, outside of America, for obvious reasons. And you know, we'll see what happens here the next couple weeks. Maybe we'll actually be able to go see a movie in a theater.
Not at the rate we're going, dude. We were supposed to be in the theater by now.
I know. I mean, to be fair though, up here, where I am, it's not terrible. It's not good, but it's not terrible.
That's because you're not one of the 2 states that don't know what masks are.
Apparently.
Which, yeah, we'll stop beating that horse. But here's the news topic. I think it's either really good, but at the same time, it just really fleshes out a lot of my problems that I have with modern reporting. Because I already hate journalists in general. But media journalists, I think, are even worse, but this still at least could be interesting to me. So we know DC Fandome is coming. We've talked about that for a few weeks now, and we're probably going to keep talking about it because thing seems to be coming out, but we don't know. But something interesting came about not too long ago, that there was a survey going around asking DC Fandom going, well, what panel are you most excited for? Black Adam, Aquaman, Zack Snyder, maybe, this, that, or the other thing. But at the very bottom, it said Secret Movie 1 and Secret Movie 2, to which, of course, everyone starts speculating, what are those 2 projects? What are those 2 projects? I think there's a lot of different possibilities, but I think there's 2 that I am kind of more leaning towards than others. But Josh, before I get to you to ask what you think they are, right now there's like 5 to 10, at least that I could think of people are throwing these names around. They're saying a Batman Beyond movie, a Green Lantern movie, a Constantine movie, a Zatanna movie, a New Gods movie, Man of Steel, and I feel like there's something else. And everyone's just going, new rumor suggests. And it's just so annoying to me if you really dig into it, none of these are credible sources. Oh, I've heard it from a guy who works for Warner Brothers mail office. It's like some of these also, some of them don't really seem like secret projects because like New Gods, that's already been in development forever. Others,
we know about that one.
Others don't make sense. It just seems like every time there's like a big Comic-Con type of thing, it's almost like they want something to happen. They'll just spit it out in the ether, and then we got this covered, will spit that out as truth as opposed to this is just a fan theory.
Yeah. I as much as I would love for Batman to Beyond to be a thing, I personally think it's a little early. I think gotta let Robert do his thing first before we even bring in a new Batman. I feel that would be way too confusing. I'm gonna throw this out in the ether. Okay. I think it's time for a Static Shock movie.
You keep saying that.
I'm putting it out in the ether. I mean, but how, like, if there was ever a time, especially after these past couple months, if there was ever a time for a young, non-Prince, like, black superhero, it is now.
But the only issue I have is I would love to see that movie just as much as you would. I think DC forgets they have Static Shock a lot of the time.
I think so too, unfortunately.
He's like any Green Lantern not named Hal Jordan. They just forget that they exist. Because even when I watched Static Shock as a kid, like it felt like it was in the Justice League universe, but also it didn't, if that makes sense.
That's fair. But I mean, it also, I think that's, to me, Static Shock is or could be like Spider-Man of the DC universe, the neighborhood hero.
Oh yeah, probably, if they remember that he exists.
Yeah. Yeah, I can see Green Lantern happening. I would really, really prefer if Jeff Johns was involved, but
topic we won't get into today. But Jeff Johns, I don't think will be near any live action stuff for a while.
Yeah, and I think it's probably thanks to Zach. So
no, it's that whole Ray Fisher calling out Joss Whedon thing.
No way. I thought that was just like
this isn't part of the fandom, but quick side tangent we'll talk about here. So I wasn't planning on talking about this, but we can address it really quick. Ray Fisher more or less took to I think it was Twitter or Instagram, one of the two. I think probably both. And did a clip of him from Comic-Con a couple of years ago where he fully endorsed Joss Whedon to replace Zack Snyder. He's like, I fully retract everything that I've said about this. Joss Whedon was gross, abusive, this, that, and the other thing. Now, I will say this as someone that likes Justice League, and I don't think it's nearly as bad as people make it out to be. I am probably going to be siding with Ray Fisher on this one because these allegations against Joss Whedon are nothing new. If you remember when Justice League came out, he was still quote unquote supposed to be working on Batgirl, but I never bought that he was actually attached to that. There was allegations from like his ex-wife. There's been other people that have come forward. And also, as much as I like Justice League, there's certain moments you can tell are Joss Whedon that while I like the movie, I don't get why they're in there because they're not funny and they're kind of uncomfortable. Like when Flash lands on Wonder Woman and that wasn't Gal Gadot, that was her stunt double that was forced to do that scene.
Move.
And I'm like, I like this movie and I defend Joss Whedon up to a point. But I'm taking Ray Fisher's side on this one. But also, it sounded like Joss Whedon was doing a lot of bashing of Zack Snyder's vision on set, which I'm like, Joss, while I may agree with you that I wasn't a big fan of Snyder's vision for the DC universe, if I'm directing those actors that have been working with him, I'm keeping my mouth shut and trying to do my best to work with them. And supposedly Joss Whedon was enabled by producers Jeff Johns and John Berg, who both are not in their roles anymore. But I'm like, it's not a good look for anybody involved right now.
Yeah. Well, geez, dude.
And it's like Ray Fisher, I think he's saying this because so far he's the only Justice League member to come out and say anything. I think it's because he really has nothing to lose right now.
Yeah.
Because everyone else is either in the middle of production on a new movie or like some other people I'll talk about in a second here, hoping to get another movie. So as much as I like Joss Whedon's Justice League, and I think it's not as bad as people make it out to be, Joss Whedon does have a history of suspicious activity following him around. But
that's crazy.
To get back to the fandom stuff,
yeah,
I think there's two likely candidates here. And they both come down to one specific person. J.J. Abrams. He is the future of DC, and I cannot wait until he's officially announced for something so fanboys can just lose their stuff about it because you know they're going to be pissed because it's not Snyder. And they'll be like, he's the guy that did Rise of Skywalker, and that was a bad movie that ruined Star Wars. No, Kathleen Kennedy ruined Star Wars. And if you think Star Wars is ruined, were you not around in 2005 when people thought Revenge of the Sith killed everything?
Yeah. I mean, the big thing is, so that would, if you're saying J.J. Abrams, I'm assuming that you're saying one of them is a Man of Steel film. I
do. No one is talking about Man of Steel 2, but I think where there's smoke, there's fire, and there has been enough of a buildup of we've heard Henry Cavill be talked about for a while coming back to Superman, and I think this is the big splash that they're hoping for. Imagine the 1-2 punch of Zack Snyder's Justice League and Man of Steel 2. We're going to appease the people that like Snyder's vision, but also we're going to be thinking ahead with Henry Cavill's Superman. Now, I'm also going to probably surprise you with what I think is the second movie.
Okay.
Also, it still ties in, though, heavily with J.J. Abrams and a project that they've already announced that he is working on, but not directing. He's overseeing a Justice League Dark, and there's already some rumors floating around. And this one, I do kind of see some evidence to back it up on, that we'll be getting a Zatanna movie.
Ooh,
I think that's the other one. Because it's like your Black Light is not Black Lightning. It's like your Static Shock argument. It's not a cookie cutter, another white guy superhero. It is a female-led magic movie that could tie into the HBO Max Justice League Dark series. Now, there are some rumors going on of JJ supposedly wants to produce a Constantine movie, and I'm going, oh, Lord, no. And people are going, bring back Keanu. I'm like, no, you like Keanu now. Keanu and Constantine is not Constantine. It's just Keanu.
And I mean, I love that movie.
I know you do.
That's not what I want out of a comic book Constantine.
It's not Constantine at all. It's just a Keanu Reeves action movie with demons.
Yes. I mean, that's in there. Come on.
I'm going with the interesting picks. Superman, which I'm sure at this point, it's just a heart thing and wanting it and willing it to happen. But I think the Zatanna thing might be out of left field enough. And I think they want to diversify, especially in today's climate, of not just have all male leads and do more. Like, look at the success of Wonder Woman. I'm sure they want to continue that trend and try other female-led superhero movies. And if we're not getting Supergirl, Zatanna could be a really interesting option.
She really could. It'd be interesting if they, it'd be par for the course if they didn't do Man of Steel and they did Static Shock and Zatanna, just to really hit it home.
Alexandra Daddario for Zatanna, please.
Absolutely. Who would you want as who plays your Static Shock?
If he is not Miles Morales, Lucas from Stranger Things.
Okay.
But I think he'd be a really good Miles first, though.
Yeah, I'm really, really down for that, surprisingly.
But yeah, there's talk about a Green Lantern, but I don't see a Green Lantern movie being announced just because we're getting a series on HBO Max. Batman Beyond. I think we'll get a Batman Beyond movie, but after the Flash movie with Michael Keaton first.
Yeah,
that makes more sense to me.
Like I said, I think it's a little too early for Batman Beyond. As much as I would love for it to be a thing. Okay, so I told this to Heather. How great would it be at the end of the Flash movie with Michael Keaton? Like he sends Barry on his way or something, hopefully played by somebody else. And he's just like, I've kind of missed being in the game. Goes down to the Batcave for the first time in decades. Opens up the cabinet. He's like, I've been saving this for a rainy day. Opens up one of the containers, and it's the Batman Beyond suit. And that's it. I don't know.
Because you know this better than anybody else. He has to wear the suit before Terry does.
True. Unless he sends Barry on his way and he's like, well, let's get back to work. And he gets a phone call and it says Terry on the phone.
I'd be okay with that too.
Caller ID.
Weird nitpick real quick.
Like super simple.
Weird nitpick real quick of Batman Beyond. We see him wearing the suit first. Did they ever explain how a man that's like twice the size of Terry is able to wear the same thing that Terry wears?
I think...
Is it like Back to the Future 2 where they like have auto-adjusting clothes? Because I'm just looking at this going... You and I can't wear the same stuff, so how can they wear the same stuff?
There's something to do. I could have sworn either he makes one, or it's an auto adjustable. I'm not sure though.
I mean, it's probably just Back to the Future 2 logic of auto adjusts.
Yeah, I mean, especially with that particular suit, I wouldn't mind it. Like you can totally convince me of that.
Fair enough. And now for something completely different. So, Josh, would you consider yourself a football fan?
I mean, I don't mind it. If it's on, I'll watch.
Yeah, I'm kind of the same. Like, I enjoy watching football. It doesn't mean I'm going to play or like be the smartest person in the room about it. It's not baseball to me, but I enjoy it. I would rather watch football than say like the NBA, but I like it enough. And one player in particular that I was always a fan of, and I'm actually genuinely surprised that it took us this long to get a biopic on him, is former Arizona Cardinals quarterback Kurt Warner. Apparently, he'll be getting a biopic played by Shazam himself, Zachary Levi. And I didn't even realize until I was making the graphic for this episode and seeing the side-by-side, they look so similar, it's not even funny.
It's almost painful. There's like no way.
Just saw this, I was like, did you cast him just because he looks like him? Or like, did Kurt Warner specifically ask for Zachary Levi? Just make me look as good as possible.
Jeez. I mean, cool, I guess. On the tails of this, did you see the side-by-side that Chris Hemsworth dropped of him and Hulk?
Yeah. I'm much more interested in the Kurt Warner one, just because I don't think they're going to sugarcoat it. Whereas the Vince McMahon one, since he's still alive and he's like the most protective person ever of their image, if we were going to get a true Vince McMahon movie, I'd be interested and show his make it like a Joker movie, show his rise to being like one of the most horrible people on earth. But they won't do that.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting.
Make it like the Wolf of Wall Street, except with Vince McMahon.
Oh, no.
Because
that movie.
It's not that far off.
No, it's not, unfortunately. But yeah, definitely the Zachary Levi playing Kurt Warner is going to be super rad.
Yeah, I'm actually genuinely surprised, like I said, that we haven't gotten this sooner, because for those that don't know, Josh, how much of the quote-unquote Kurt Warner story do you know?
Like 0.
So the reason why I'm excited and why I think this is a really cool idea, and I'm amazed that someone hasn't done this sooner, is Kurt Warner actually went from grocery bagger to Super Bowl champion, basically.
Oh, wow.
He's like basically the Rocky of the NFL.
That's crazy.
Of like, I think it was either after high school or college, he didn't get signed, and so he was a grocery bagger and worked his way all the way back to the league and became the Hall of Famer Kurt Warner. So I'm like,
jeez, dude, I didn't even know that. Holy crap. Yeah, let's go. All right.
Right?
Levi.
Also, I wouldn't be surprised at all if either Warner approved of Zachary Levi or if Zachary Levi signed on to this, because they both have very similar, how do I put it, faith backgrounds. Okay. And they're very outspoken about it.
Okay.
I'm just hoping that this doesn't just become, hey, they're both Christians, let's make this a terrible Christian uplifting movie. Because bless your heart, if you watch Christian movies, that's good for you. They are almost all of them are terrible.
Yeah.
If you want a good Christian movie, go to a studio that isn't Christian. Book of Eli is phenomenal.
Yeah, that would yeah, we could have a whole debate on all of that. It's because it's an interesting topic on certain levels, but yeah, I hope it doesn't. Don't mind if it's because it is such a big part of who Kurt is.
But don't go full Hallmark with it.
Yeah, don't go Hallmark. Jeez. So never go full Hallmark.
Yeah, Tropic Thunder there. You went full Hallmark. Never go full Hallmark. So as the graphic shows up on the screen,
I know what part of the show we're at, and I can't even take this seriously.
So I shared this graphic on Facebook, and I don't think people realize that I'm being dead serious when I say this. This is a real, genuine news story we are talking about, people. It is the Yahtzee of news stories. I've put a whole bunch of different things in a cup, shake it up and spill it out. And the first 3 things you have to pick up are what's happening here. Because we've covered some random crap on this show of Hans Zimmer doing the score for a SpongeBob movie before literally anybody else is attached to it. I feel like we've had some other like super weird ones. But unless we get a movie about Bill Clinton riding a unicorn in a Pixar, I don't even know how to just randomize off the top of my head. I can't think of a more random combination than this. So we've beat around the bush long enough. Jason Momoa, my friend, your friend, everyone's friend, and your mom's crush. He is voicing Frosty the Snowman in a live action movie. And before you go there, Josh, yes, I am now renaming him Jason Snowmoa.
Attaboy. I don't know why. I don't know who thought of this.
I have a thought. It's going to appeal to a very specific audience, I think, is why this movie's made.
No, but
it's someone's very specific dream about Jason Momoa.
But he's like, it's just his voice, right? So he's still going to be that plump snowman.
I kind of hope it's more than just the voice of just a shredded snowman.
And I misread the topic while you were talking about it, and I just saw, voicing Frosty the Snowman in a live action film. Like, so we're having a Frosty the Snowman action film, huh? I wonder what this is gonna look like.
You got frosted, man.
Oh no! Stop! No.
Okay.
All right,
last bad pun, I promise. But imagine that scene from Justice League. Ride ain't over yet. My snowman.
Stop! No.
I've given way too much thought to this. I've had way too much fun waiting. I've been more excited to get to this news topic than I have been to get to our discussion later, because what is this world coming to that we now have Jason Snowmoa as a thing? It's like those memes of like when you merge 2 different things. Oh, they can't hurt you. They're not a real thing. Jason Momoa as a snowman can't hurt you. Ah, yes, he can.
Okay, let me ask you this. All right, thinking about it, it's funny. We got plenty of puns. Are you for it or are you against it?
Of course I'm for it. I mean, granted, it's not the voice that I think of when I think of Frosty the Snowman, but like I think of calm and nurturing and just like, I want to hug you. Jason Momoa is like, yeah, man, let's catch that snowball fight.
Like he just keeps saying bro all the time.
Frosty the Snowman becomes a surfer man.
Oh, God.
Frosty the Surfer Man.
Oh, I am so incredibly for this. I just can't wait.
And Danny Trejo's voicing Rudolph or something like that.
Watch this be
directed by Michael Bay.
Watch this be as good as a voice acting role as Michael Cera as Robin.
There's no way we're ever going to be able to top this in the random what the heck were they thinking category. In the sense of, I'm looking forward to this. But what? I told my family on this when we made a trip to Portillo's, which, yeah, this episode's sponsored by Portillo's. If you haven't, you're missing out. And I told them that, and they're like in live action form? It's like, yeah. Mm-hmm. It's okay. My brain just can't process it. It's just
I don't know. I didn't know I needed this, and now I can't wait for it.
Yep. And the kids will be like, "Oh, but Frosty, we're being bullied. Where they at? and Frosty just like takes chunks of himself. No, he just like tears parts of himself out as a snowball and chucks them at his enemies.
Oh my goodness. I can't emotionally handle this.
It's like an SNL skit, like when they had The Rock be Bambi. It's just... Why? Who? Come on.
Oh, man.
And I'm all about it. In all the best ways.
Oh, dude. Speaking of something that I'm all about, did you see the Tax Collector trailer?
I put it in the notes, so yes.
I know.
Okay, also...
I was trying to segue, dang it!
For anybody that doesn't know, we are the biggest Shia LaBeouf apologists when it comes to movies. And I feel so vindicated right now because holy crap, he's bringing his A game. And also disregard the fact that he tattooed his entire chest for this movie because he's still weird. But if you don't think he's a good actor, you're lying to yourself.
Yeah, because holy crap, he is... the movie itself looks like, paint by the numbers drug violence movie.
And I don't think it will be.
But I agree. I don't think it will be. And already like some of the acting in the trailer was like, okay, we are here for it. Here we go.
So the big reason why I'm on board for this, besides the fact that it's actual cannibal Shia LaBeouf, actual cartel member Shia LaBeouf, we'll go with that for this movie, is this movie's directed by David Ayer, who is the first director that I think in recent memory that has seen the dramatic in Shia LaBeouf because he cast him in what I still think is one of Shia LaBeouf's most underrated performances in a movie called Fury with Brad Pitt and Logan Lerman. I like but don't love that movie, but I love Shia LaBeouf in that movie.
That was the movie, I don't know about you, but at least for me, when I was like, whoa.
Same.
Whoa,
yep.
Where is this Shia LaBeouf been?
Yep. That's the one for me that was like, oh, this dude can act, because everyone else is kind of scoundrels in that movie, which is still why I thought David Ayer was a great pick for Suicide Squad, and I don't blame him for the final result. But Shia LaBeouf was still a scoundrel, but he had an interesting layer to him as a character that I really, really liked. And so to see them reunited, it just means to me that David Ayer liked working with Shia or saw some potential in him. Mm-hmm. So I'm all on board for that. I've seen some stupid backlash already that people are like, but Shia LaBeouf is not a Hispanic and he's playing a Hispanic character. I'm like, what makes you think he's a Hispanic character? We all know that white guy that thinks he's a lot tougher and more gangster than he actually is. And that's what I think Shia LaBeouf's character is here.
I would agree. At no point, I don't think they give him any name, but they never say that he's Hispanic or anything like that. So
no. And I loved at the beginning of the trailer when it's just like, some people say I'm the devil. Are you? Maybe. I'm like, oh, I want Shia LaBeouf as a villain in a movie, not in real life.
The last line of the trailer, where his partner is like, dude, I don't want him to have to pull the trigger and blow you apart, blah 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 blah, and like they hit it once again, and Shia LaBeouf goes, but I really want to. It's like, no, stop, no, villain Shia LaBeouf, here we go.
And why I still think he would have been great as Red Hood, but just get Shia LaBeouf all the dramatic roles until people realize that he's actually a good actor and he is trying to put his life back on track. He still does weird stuff, but name another actor that doesn't do weird stuff.
Yes. I mean, he does weird stuff, but like, I mean, of the things to do for a movie, tattooing your chest really is like the least. It's like the smallest thing.
Oh yeah, he did much weirder stuff for Fury, like filing his tooth down to the gum or not showering for the entire shoot.
Yep. Much weirder, like, but still, like, he's come a long way. He's such a method actor, so I'm not that surprised by that. I'm not upset by that either. I mean, obviously, I have tattoos, so I don't really care. Like, go for it, man.
The funny thing is, he says he isn't a method actor. Like, if you look on paper, he kind of is method, but I know you have seen it. But if you guys haven't, if you still don't kind of get the Shia LaBeouf thing, look up the Hot Ones episode with Shia LaBeouf, and he goes into explaining method acting and how he like researched what method acting is, and how he's like, there's some elements there that I appreciate, but I don't think I ever go full method just because I never want to completely embody something, just kind of feel what it's like to be that person.
Fair, yeah.
Like, he's a lot smarter than people think.
Yeah. Oh, I would agree. You know what we should do then? On the Uncharted Media Facebook page, after we post this episode, we should definitely put up links to both the Hot Ones episode and that
interview and the interview that I sent you where he's on the bench.
Yeah, absolutely. Post those up because I think more people need to see like his actual heart and his headspace where he's at these days. True.
Did they say if the tax collector was theatrical or if it was like a Netflix thing?
I don't remember. I'd have to go re-look at it, watch the trailer, which honestly I think I will.
Any trailers right now are welcome because we're not getting much. But
yeah, I'm very appreciative of new media. That So let's go.
And I'm always down for more Shia.
Absolutely.
Well, like we said earlier, our main discussion today is 5 good things about Halle Berry's Catwoman from 2004. And before we get into it, again, I need to say, Josh, I hate you so much.
and it was one of those, like, I just kept shrugging my shoulders, like, but the segue was so good.
Never again will we do a show just because the segue was good, if it's anything like this.
I was going to say, but we did that with Immortals, so...
No, we planned Immortals ahead of time, because you didn't even know Henry Cavill was in Immortals!
No, 2020 is hindsight, you know. I knew all along, you know.
Immortals at least was enjoyable to watch. I hated every second of this. Because, no joke, I have never seen a movie with worse editing than this movie.
Oh, dude.
Like one quote unquote action scene, even the non-action scene has like 5 cuts in a second.
Yeah.
Like whoever the editor or the cinematographer was so ADD and just, well, this shot's more than 3 seconds. We have to cut it. Cut.
Yeah. Okay. So,
and everything's got this weird green matrix color tint to it.
So first things first, though, let's talk about the fact that whoever wrote this saw Catwoman and was like, "Oh, I get it. She's like Spider-Man and has the powers of a cat," and that's what you get in this film. And it was the most infuriating. Like, I never thought I'd be sitting here saying, no, that's not how you do Catwoman, because I could, you know, for the most part, give or take, to do whatever you want with Catwoman. But
because I feel like most people realize when you say Catwoman in relation to the comic books, it's a character and not a literal cat person.
And they tried to they tried to do like the whole female empowerment thing with it too. And not that I'm against that, but it's so half done in this. Like, there's no real code to it. The movie is definitely early 2000s. You can tell in the editing. You can tell in some of the ways that they transition scenes. You can tell in the music. It does not age well at all. It's not to say that it was good when it came out. So
it was so bad. I hated every second of it.
But without a further ado, are you ready with your 5?
I guess some of this will be the most of a stretch I've ever had to do. No joke.
Yeah, no, same.
So I am curious, what is your number 5?
For the most part, I feel like every single one of these for both of us is going to be kind of like Well, for the most part, give or take, because there's such a stretch. The two CEOs are legitimately evil. Like, they are pure dirtbags. There's no redeeming qualities about them. Like, there's a couple times I legit wanted Halle to punch the dude in the face. Just go for it. I don't, and that, to me, if the film is gonna be absolute garbage, then at least your villains they're not strong, but they're definitely evil.
Yeah, I have some thoughts later about one of the villains in particular, but I'll give you that. I have an honorable mention to no lie, I thought it was the brother at first, and then I realized later that it was the husband. I was like, oh, you're sending off all kinds of the wrong vibes for this movie.
Yep.
It's like, this isn't Game of Thrones. Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, I could see that. They were generic, evil CEOs, I guess.
But like at the very least, they had no redeeming qualities, which is sometimes
like the rest of the cast.
Yeah. What's your number 5?
So this is my only technicality for this, and probably that I've ever done for 5 Good Things, because this movie broke me so much. I think it's a good thing that there's no Batman connections at all in this movie.
Absolutely. I don't even remember a DC logo at the beginning.
I don't think there's a DC logo. She is not Selena Kyle. She's Patience Phillips. And I'm going, the heck is this crap?
All the stupid names. Oh my goodness.
Like, she is just Catwoman in name. She bears no resemblance to the actual Catwoman character for the most part, but I'll save that for later, which might surprise you. She's a literal cat person. Like, at one point she gets distracted by catnip as a human.
Dude, I legitimately looked around when I saw that. I was like, is anybody seeing this? This is somebody added it. Somebody wrote this down on a piece of paper and said this is a good idea.
The fact that it isn't technically a Catwoman movie, if you want to be pedantic about it, is, I think, a good thing, because it doesn't further tarnish the legacy of if this, because it would have been real easy to put this in the Batman universe and just ruin so much more. But the fact that they didn't and tried to make it stand on its own failed miserably. But
you know what?
Thanks for not ruining the reputation of Batman any more than it already was at 2004, because this was before Batman Begins. So Batman as a whole was already in a dark place. Thanks for not making it worse.
Jeez. You know what threw me out of the movie most of the time, worse than the editing and the music and all the other things?
Her weird ears.
I mean, that too, but
it looks like a cobra now that I'm looking at the picture. Oh God, the best friend was terrible.
Okay, do you know who that is?
No, she looks so familiar.
Did you ever see the Miss Swan sketch on Mad TV?
No.
She's like, I'm sure you've seen videos pop up on Facebook every now and then and stuff like that. But she's got like a scrunched up face. She's supposed to be Asian. And I'll send you a link later, but that's Miss Swan from Mad TV. And like, I remember watching like videos of her, and like, she's very, very funny, but it just was one of those, like, she's kind of like when, what is it? Is it Joel Edgerton that shows up at the end of Wicker Man?
No, that's James Franco.
Franco? Yeah,
James Franco's at the end of Wicker Man.
Okay. But yes, it just kind of shows up and it takes you out of the movie. Like, whoa, wait, what are you doing here?
No, that's not what took us out of Wicker Man. It was Aaron Eckhart just randomly sitting at a bar with no lines.
Because I was like, Franco, that doesn't sound right at all.
No, Franco is at the end, but remember, before he goes to the island, he sees Aaron Eckhart, and we're like, wait.
Yeah.
Aaron Eckhart being an extra in the background of a bar not saying anything?
That's so wild.
But that's a whole other 5 Good Things.
Yes.
Any excuse
Maybe one day.
Yeah, we'll revisit that someday. Not next month, but I unabashedly love how dumb that movie is.
Yeah, absolutely.
All of our friends are just the worst stereotypes of like, I thought we were better at writing gay characters than her gay best friend at work.
Oh my goodness. I mean,
like the most stereotypical gay character in a fashion company ever.
I mean, I've seen big stacks of rocks that have more charisma and more interest than the cop. God, that man was stupid. He had to use all of the police resources to put 2 and 2 together.
I will actually talk about him later, but I will completely agree with you dude, you see her text written sorry in the exact same font both times, and it takes you how long to figure out that it's the same handwriting?
And you had to pull DNA from 2.
And you went to a handwriting specialist who just happens to be on standby.
Oh.
My number 4 is a bit of an odd one.
We're in the middle of 5 good things. I forgot.
Oh no, we'll still keep bagging on stuff when bad things happen. But number 4 is also probably me reaching. But maybe I was trying to give the movie the benefit of the doubt. Because I think there was something there. If y'all care at all, because you shouldn't, but I'm going to spoil the ending of the movie for you guys. After Halle Berry goes into overtime, because she literally says that, she like kicks the bad guy onto a ledge, and the bad guy's face has been cut up by Catwoman's claws, and no joke, the villain has tough skin because she's been using her own makeup forever, and it makes her skin turn into like granite, like super tough, so she can't feel pain, physical pain. But like all of us watching this movie, she still hurts on the inside. So Halle Berry scratches up her face, and so like her face starts peeling, and she's hanging, probably gonna fall to her death. And there's a quick shot where she sees her reflection. Now maybe, just maybe, I'm reading too much into this, and I probably am, but I want to win something in this movie. I think upon seeing her reflection and seeing that she can't just go back and put makeup on anymore, and that she's gonna be scarred like that forever, I think the villain purposely let go and killed herself.
That's your number 4?
Because no, let me finish. Because
okay. It was like your number 4 was being happy the villain killed her. Okay.
Because I think it'd be interesting. They don't make it overt, but I think it'd be interesting if she killed herself, because they pan out once she's dead and she hits the ground. She pans out and she falls at the base of the building, and in the background there's a picture of the fashion model that's replacing her on the cover of all the products and magazines and everything that's been talked about for almost all of the movie. And I think, again, I highly doubt they did this intentionally because they're not that smart, but I thought it was interesting foreshadowing and maybe a subliminal messaging of, you will always be replaced. Time will always catch up to you. You can do whatever you want to do, but you will always die in the end and be replaced by a better model.
Which is like a really dark and yet true sentiment for a movie that has a woman rubbing catnip all over her face. Yeah.
So I'm like, did you intend for this to be this dark? And I'll talk about that character later. But I was like, did you intend for this interesting subliminal messaging here about you can do everything you want to try and get to a certain point, but you're still going to die and you're still going to lose your legacy in the long term and be replaced?
Yeah, I don't think they're that smart. I mean, if you can pull that out of there, good for you, bud. But I don't think they're that smart.
It's not our brain shattering revelation like The Happening was.
Yep.
Which, yeah.
So,
what's your number 4?
My number 4 is the music. No, just kidding.
Get out.
I'm just kidding.
Normally the music is a good go-to for us of, at least the music was good. Oh no. If there was like a not top 5, this is like number 2 behind the editing, because oh my gosh, this is like a wow, that's what I don't call music 2020 2004, I guess. Oh gosh.
No. And maybe this is because we are coming off of watching stuff like Daredevil and kind of seeing some of these real dark and themed superhero movies that DC is kind of known for, especially in the color palette. So something at least early on, and there's certain sections that are still there as well in the movie. Color is very present, at least in some way, shape, or form in this movie, and in that way it felt a little refreshing. Now, if the movie itself was better, it would probably be more interesting, but
it looks like the rejected color correction from the Matrix sequels.
Yeah.
Also, when was the last time we say again?
I'm trying to give as many points as I can here. It's tough, dude. I mean, because it was colorful ish. It's more colorful than certain sections of BVS. I don't know.
Also, we haven't talked about it yet, but I can't remember a movie that I've ever seen that has worse CGI buildings.
Oh my goodness.
And cities. Like, could you not just get B-roll of a city? Also, cities are pretty easy to do with CGI normally, like buildings, because it's not a person where you have to get all this fine detail, but they still managed to bungle that, and CGI is so bad in this, and they're just buildings. How do you mess that up?
Do they ever specify what city she's in?
I want to say New York or California. I don't care enough. It's not Gotham. That's what matters.
Yeah, because it's definitely not Selena Kyle.
Also, I rambled on this long enough last weekend, but quick side tangent about cities. Why the heck was Scoob not set in Coolsville? It's just set in a random... I think it's set in Venice in California. I'm like, wait. They have a city that they live in, you morons. It's Coolsville. Everybody knows that. I hate Scoob so much, but not as much as I hate this stupid movie.
Just let that let it go down the toilet. It's okay. Let it go.
The dog and the cat combo 2 weeks in a row, man. It's just killing me.
Oh.
Speaking of number twos going down the toilet, what's your number three?
While talented and poorly shot, the idea of some of the action shots, the action pieces and whatnot was interesting. I'm
so much conviction there.
There's only one thing about this movie that I am like convicted about, and we'll get there. But did they get how Catwoman, I would think, would fight given that you took away her whip? Sure. For the most part, yes. She does a lot of kicks, and that kind of bothers me.
Quick side tangent. Could we talk about for a second how she discovered, hey, I should have a whip as a weapon? She stole it from a beer hose.
Oh, that's right.
At a party. I'm like, are you serious?
Dude.
She stole a beer hose from a kegger her neighbors were having. Also, this actually broke the movie for me more than anything else. Everyone in that area lives in apartments, right?
Yeah.
And she goes over to stop the party at her neighbor's apartment.
Uh-huh.
Why the heck does her neighbor have a 2-story apartment? If you look carefully in the scene, that's not an apartment because you can see the floor below them. Like if they're on a balcony level.
It's so funny. Like, once you start really hating a movie, all these little things start becoming really...
Like, that's not an apartment. That's a nightclub that you disguise as an apartment.
We see you. We know what you did.
Last summer. No, I'd rather watch that. I like those movies. Oh,
I hate those movies, honestly.
I like them because they're dumb.
Yeah, hey, but this is dumb.
Different kind of dumb. Also, it's hard for me to not like a slasher. Even at their worst, they can still be fun. This was just painful. But yeah, I don't know why that bothered me so much, but it did. That's not an apartment. It's 2 stories. Everywhere else is a floor. And I kept checking. I was like, are we sure that's not just a bar? Nope, I can see the floor below. This is 2 stories somehow. Oh my gosh. My number 3, to transition back to trying to find some semblance. This is the exact opposite. Again, this movie is the exact opposite of how a good superhero movie should work. And it is the exact opposite in one big thing. So in most good superhero movies, Man of Steel, of course, being the exception, a hero will get their suit and they'll have like an early model of it. Captain America had it. Iron Man had it. Batman had it. Man of Steel, again, I still complained. It's super weird that he just gets the suit for no real reason. But typically superheroes get a suit and then they'll get a better version of it later. It is the exact opposite for Catwoman. Her final form is so god awful, but their first gen costume, I actually don't mind because it kind of gave me Batman Year One vibes.
Yeah, absolutely. I didn't mind it at all. It could have been a lot worse, and then they went a lot worse.
It's like, why did you change it? This is actually not that bad for a first suit. It looks homemade, which it was, and it makes sense. But also, at the same time, it still looked like Catwoman.
Yes.
Not before she got whatever weird headpiece that she got. How did she get that headpiece?
Doesn't she take it?
No,
she takes it during a robbery.
No, because if you look carefully, it's made of completely different material.
What?
Like the thing, I know what you're talking about. She finds like a mask or something in the robbery, but I'm like, that can't be what she wears. That thing looks like it weighs 20 pounds.
It probably does, but she's got a strong head. Anyway, let's move on before that comment goes on.
I hate the suit, like the second suit, so bad because it just looks like a 13-year-old boy designed it. Like, yes,
yep.
Halle Berry's attractive. We know this. We could watch Swordfish if we really wanted to know that, but it's not Catwoman. The first suit was better for like an opening. This is my suit, my homecoming type suit. Then he just had to go and ruin it.
Yep.
Next up,
oh boy.
I talked about it very briefly, but my number 2 is actually Sharon Stone as the main villain.
Really?
Because I can't tell for the life of me if she didn't give a single crap or if she gave all the craps and was genuinely trying. Because, like, at times she's really fun and other times she's sleepwalking. But at the whole time of watching it, I'm going, you're a much more interesting character than Halle Berry's Patience Phillips. And again, it comes back to what I talked about of, I don't think they intended it to be this bad, this as their subtle messaging, because I don't think they're that smart. But I like the concept of a villain that is a villain because they already had the power and they just didn't want to give it up to somebody else. And they didn't want to give the spotlight to somebody else. Of age is catching up to her, and they established pretty early on that a new model is replacing her. And she's like, yeah, I'm fine with that. But you can tell she's not, and she just wants to stay beautiful forever.
She wants to stay in the spotlight, yeah.
And so she's willing to do whatever it takes to get to that point. And that's an interesting spin for a villain to take. We can argue all day if it's the best way to do it, but... And again, I can't tell if she's giving all her effort or none of it, but I thought the villain was much more interesting than Halle Berry's character.
Yeah, I will fight you on that one.
Not great, but nothing about this movie is.
Yes.
What's your number 2?
My number 2 is the single thing in this movie that gave me the most laughter. I know it wasn't supposed to make me laugh, but I laughed for a solid last 3/4 of the movie. Anytime Halle Berry's character is on the screen with that stinking Karen haircut.
It really is a Karen hair. Dude, she literally fights the manager.
Oh, I know. That's why I was laughing. Oh man, I know it's not supposed to make me laugh. Much like in Wicker Man, it's supposed to be serious and it's supposed to be emotion like provoking. But bro, that's a Karen haircut. She's literally asking to speak to the manager.
Really? Guys, we cannot take this movie seriously.
I couldn't. I
can't do it, man. This movie's so bad. It's so bad.
He run all that catnip all over her face. I was like, all right, cool. No longer taking this movie serious.
Like, I tried to be an optimistic person, thinking, okay, every movie has to have at least 5 good things. I wrestled so much with myself and with the movie gods, going, why have you betrayed me? Why have you forsaken me to do this? And it's all Josh's fault. Don't forget it, folks.
Hey man, this was the purpose of this segment for us, was to sit here and say, there's at least 5 good things about every movie, and for the most part, we have found 5 good things.
Guys,
this has been, I think, the hardest one we've done so far.
Guys, it was easier for me to find 5 good things about The Room than it was Catwoman. Like, legitimately good things about The Room. Oh, speaking of which, The Room is getting a 4K release next month.
It doesn't need one.
That's why I need it. Also, Tommy Wiseau is doing a special feature on it where he's going to offer his own quote-unquote rebuttal to the Disaster Artist movie.
Oh, no.
And talk about everything they got wrong. I'm like, I need this movie right now.
Oh, no.
Also, for those that don't know, Tommy Wiseau, the guy that did The Room, has his own YouTube gaming channel.
Of all things.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, The Room was easier to find good things about this than this piece of trash. Josh,
oh my goodness.
Let's speed forward to the end. What's your number 1?
I might get some pushback from you on this.
Don't say Halle Berry. You're going to say Halle Berry, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm saying it, Halle Berry. Because at the end of the day, while kooky, while strange, while completely out there, she committed to the story that was presented to her. I'm not saying it's good, but it's like the level of commitment that
Nicolas Cage
puts into everything. It doesn't always make sense, but it's definitely commendable.
Yeah, I'll give you that. It's definitely not my number 1. I don't even want to acknowledge what she did. But in terms of going balls to the wall, giving everything you have to this utter garbage of a movie, right down to accepting your own Razzie Award win for it, I will give Halle Berry props for that.
Yeah, it's definitely, she's not the problem with this film.
No, like it's everything else. Like, you can have Meryl Streep in this, and it would actually probably be a better movie just because it'd be more interesting. Tell me you wouldn't want to see Meryl Streep, a CGI Meryl Streep, do drop kicks on Sharon Stone.
Oh, actually, I would take that.
And see Meryl Streep say, it's overtime, while hanging out of a building and then somehow jumping up without using her arms.
Oh, God. There's so much. Anyway, but at the end of the day, this movie is not her fault. Her performance is not the reason that this movie is absolute garbage.
Nope. I blame the director, who didn't have a single movie after this.
Yeah.
This movie killed his career, and I don't blame it. So my number 1 is probably going to make you mad, actually, because you talked about it earlier. My number 1 is a detective.
No, he is literally dumber than a bag of rocks.
Yes, he is a dumb detective. But in terms of best performance and actual charisma on screen, Halle Berry or the detective.
Okay, fair.
Like, Yes, he is portrayed as an idiot cop, but he seemed to be the only likable non-stereotype of a character of, you're the stereotypical best friend, you're the stereotypical gay coworker. Granted, at times he does kind of feel like the stereotypical good cop, but at the same time, he still feels like the only nice and good person in the entire city that's, for some reason, doesn't want to hook up with somebody else.
Yeah, that part didn't understand at all.
Because everyone wants to hook up with somebody else in this movie, and okay. Including, at times, I felt like the bad guy and Catwoman wanted to hook up too.
Yeah, I was like, I don't know.
Like, director, are you working through some things?
Like, I mean, it's interesting to me that we both picked an actor for our number ones. But yeah, and it's funny to me that we both picked the person that the other person hated.
Yeah, that's why this show works, man.
Oh man, but yeah, no, it's at the end of the day,
I refuse to watch this movie ever again.
Absolutely, it's absolute garbage heap that tries to use feminism as a story point, but doesn't commit to using it. It tries to use a quote unquote anti-hero. Using big air quotes there, because this is genuinely the first time I think I've ever heard Catwoman called an anti-hero. She's
always been an anti-hero.
Nah, I've always said she's a villain.
Nah, she helps Batman when it's needed. She's a member of the Bat family. She just steals.
Nope.
No, I will fight you on that one.
Tune in next week when Nathan and Josh have
the discussion is just us debating the merits of Catwoman the character for 2 hours. Eartha Kitt was a perfect character. She was great as Catwoman, but she was even better as Madame Zeroni.
What's funny is I think, and I might catch some flack for this, but
you always do,
because I can whoop all of you. I think Anne Hathaway is so far the best Catwoman right now I don't know, actually. I don't know.
Yeah.
The best Selena Kyle.
Yeah, we haven't had a good, like, truly iconic Catwoman yet until Zoe Kravitz shows up. As much as I'm a huge Jennifer Morrison fan, she really didn't do it for me in Batman Hush also. Maybe Eartha Kitt, because I grew up on Batman 66.
It's tough, dude. It's real tough.
Well, technically, Eartha Kitt was on the TV show and it was Julie Newmar in the movie, but let's not get our 9 Catwomans mixed up.
Let's not get all neckbeard about this. At the end of the day, don't watch this movie unless you want to like actually consider suicide.
It's not even one of those like Wicker Man where after you're done with them, like that at least was fun stupid. This is just stupid. Because 5 good things. We've had plenty of movies that we've either end up loving, like Drive Angry, and think are actually good movies, or are stupid fun, like The Room or Wicker Man. This just makes me sad and make me embarrassed that some people get to make movies while much smarter, more creative people don't.
Yeah, it's upsetting. It's very upsetting. But, you know, it is what it is. And you know what? I think this, if anything, and you can hate me all you want, this was the most challenging 5 good things we've had so far. And I picked this
by far.
So I am proud of that. I'll take that.
And number 1 for both of us, in the words of Frodo, it's Sova.
Dude. Oh man. But if you I sent you did you watch that video that I sent you?
Which one?
I sent you a video, I think it's just like through text or whatever, but it's a pitch meeting for Catwoman, and it's very, very funny.
Dude, all those pitch movie meetings are great.
They are. Also, Nostalgia Critics review of it is very funny too.
Now I'm gonna have to go back and watch it now that I've actually seen it. That's an old one too. That was the first one with Tamara.
It is. It's like old. Oh, Tamara.
Well, what did you guys think about Catwoman? Let us know in the comments below. We always like hearing from you guys. Have you seen it? Why? Is there anything you thought was positive about this movie? Let us know in the comments below. And as always, if you'd like what you see and want to see more, subscribe to us on whatever audio platform you're listening to us on, whether that's iTunes, Spotify, Google Podcasts, or YouTube. And if you haven't already, subscribe to us on YouTube at Uncharted Media. And as always, stay sharp, movie guys and gals.